Say amen, church. Didn't she do a good job? Give her a better hand than that. I will hasten to his throne. Play this for me, Doc. I don't feel no waste time. Come too far from where I started. Help me, Holly. Come from. Nobody told me that this road was going to be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. Let's pick it up a little bit, Brother Organist. Come on. Boom, boom. I don't feel no waste time. Hey, hey, come too far. Think about it. Try to think back. No, nobody told me that this road was going to be easy. I don't believe he brought us this far to leave us. Can I put a little verse? Can I say this little verse? Listen, listen. The devil is mad, but I'm so glad. You know why? He missed all of these souls that he thought he had. I don't like the devil, and I'm so glad he doesn't like me, because Jesus died a long time ago, and he'll set us all free. Help me say it one more time, church. I don't feel no waste. 21 years ago, on Lee Street, under big red tent, he brought us this far from where we started from. Look at us. He brought West End a long ways. Nobody told you, West End. For 21 years it's going to be easy. It still gets hard sometimes. I don't believe. Can you say it again? I don't. Yeah. I don't be that the Lord brought us with tears in our eyes. He kept on bringing. We've had to cry sometimes. We've had to give up the right for the wrong. Sometime up and sometime down. But Jesus was always around. He brought me this far to. How many know he brought us from a mighty long ways? How many was here on last night? I left here with a double portion of the Holy Spirit last night. I went home shouting. I got up shouting. Huh? You know, the devil don't want you to be happy now. But I'm glad tonight that I feel pretty good. I hope my red is not offensive tonight. I like red. I was kind of scared to come in here with all but if it's all right with the ladies, I ain't going to worry about the men. Because I brought a black coat, because if you want me to take it off, I'll take it off. Put the black coat on it. You see, the red to me represents the blood. Huh? Without the shedding of blood. We preached the sermon of the night. Jesus said, when I passed by thee, I saw thee polluted in your own blood. And I said, live. Sister Teller, I found out a long time ago the life is in the blood. I promise you, if you lose all your blood from your body, you will be a dead dude. Come on, talk to me. The reason why I know we're all kindred, regardless of what color we are, you can take my blood out of me and put it in a white man. You can put black man's blood in a Puerto Rican, Spanish-speaking person, regardless of what color they are. If the blood matches, it would do the job. But you know what I'm happy about? Jesus' blood matches all blood. Can I get a witness up in here? You know, when you're a child of the King, you don't have to hide nothing. I said, when you know you're doing what's right, you don't have to hide nothing. The devil's been pretty bad today. I wore red on purpose because I'm going to plead the blood against the devil. Nothing, I told you all last night, I'm not afraid to die. I've had my share of marriages, and I'm not proud of that. But there's a young lady told me God said that I was her husband. And y'all know I'm pretty dogmatic about it. I said, that's a damn lie. I didn't curse her out, but I knew God didn't tell her that. She was very offended by that. Let me tell you something. If folks tell you God said something, if God's going to tell you to get married, he ought to let you know. Don't you marry nobody, God. Come on. I knew that wasn't God speaking through her, and I'm not here to put her down because she's a woman, and there's somebody for everybody. But God said he will give you the desires of your heart. And I told her I didn't desire her and that it would never work. And she looked me in the eyes and said, I'm going to destroy you. We bought 56 spots on the radio, on television. She called the television station and told them that she's a member of Western Seventh-day Adventist Church, and we want to stop the spots. You know they stopped my spots? And she said, somebody called from West End and said they are Janice Jackson, and they're a member of the West End Church. And I went by there today, and the lady said, well, she said the pastor said stop it, and Sister Pastor signed the check. I said, well, sister, I gave you the money from the pastor. How come you didn't call me and ask me? The devil's trying to stick up his head. But how many know God will cut it off every time? Well, I took the $1,100 that we raised the other night for 97.5, and when I got there this morning, the lady at the front desk said, Dr. Lane said, a lady just called here and say she's Sister Jones. And she said, I asked her for the lady. Again, what was the lady's name I called? Not Mayor at the depth. And she said, before you speak to Mayor, before I call her, she said, do you know such and such and such? I said, I don't know that name. She said, well, she just called from the West End Seventh Adventist Church and said that Dr. Lane is not welcome at West End Church. And if he come over to buying his spots, tell him the church don't want him buying any radio spots. I said, well, devil, you know you're really cutting up. And then somebody told me this same woman called a conference office about me. Another lady told me today she called the church and said I was going to sue. I never said anything like that. I'm not saying this to put nobody down or to lift me up, but what I'm saying, when God comes a blessing, the devil comes a messing. The devil know what's going to happen here tomorrow night. The devil know what's going to happen here Friday night. The devil know what's going to happen here Sabbath morning. Come on, brothers and sisters. Huh? What we need to understand, if the devil is not on your trail, come on, or trying to fight against you, hello, you need to understand something's wrong. Listen, you pray for that sister. You pray. But you know, when you know you're living up to all that you know is right, and it bothers me anyway, because some people, when a woman says something about a man, a lot of people just believe it. And she said to me, I'm going to destroy you. I say, sister, that's what the devil said about Job. I say, you go ahead on and take your best shot. Listen, the devil is alive. Now, I need to get in touch with the pastor so he can start the spots back. So if anybody can get in touch with the pastor and tell him to call the television station, what is it, AIB, and tell them to start those spots back. We need our spots. Can I get a witness? So if the church secretary is in here, see if you can reach the pastor and have him to call, because I've been down at the television station running all day, picking up handbills and doing everything, trying to get those spots back on. And I had people watching because I got the schedule. Have anybody seen the television spots on AIB? On Channel 5? Okay, all right. We have 56 spots. And we bought some spots on 97.5. And those spots are $300 a spot, but they let churches have them for $150. $150. So the spots will run heavy Thursday, 7 spots on Thursday, and I think about 7 or 8 on Friday. They're going to push it real heavy, the mystic number 666. So we should have so many people around here this coming Friday night. We need to pray that when we preach, that we will make our appeal and many people will come. Now let me tell you something. The pastor told me in the office the other day, he said, Brother Lane, I'm excited about what's happening. He said, I think we have between 10 or 15 people that's ready for baptism already. Now what I'm going to do, watch me Friday night. When I preach the mark of the beast Friday night, watch. When I finish preaching the mark of the beast, because I'm not going to be able to go through all of it, I will go back at the end of that sermon, and I will show 7 fundamental doctrines that we as Seventh-day Adventists believe. Now, there's more than 7, but there are 7. I baptized more people than anybody, to God be the glory. And there are 7 doctrines that they must know before we can take them to the watery grave. And that is the state of the dead and the second coming and the health message and the spirit of prophecy. Come on, you know what they are. And so I'm going to go back through those on Friday night, let them know what we believe. And then on Sabbath morning when they come, we're going to go back through the doctrines again. Come on, and let the pastor read the vows, because there are people that's ready. They've been looking and waiting to know what truth is. Come on, talk to me, brothers and sisters. And if you know anybody out of the ark of safety, if you bring them here, I guarantee you, if you can get them in the pew Friday night, the Holy Spirit and Brother Lane will get them to come forward. Come on. And did you not know, I'm going to say this, and I'm getting to the word. Did you not know, I don't know how large the membership is here, but if we can baptize 200 or 300 people Sabbath, those 300 people go out and get you 600. Because they're going to go back and say, look what I found. Look what I know that you don't know. Come on, brothers and sisters. And I guarantee you West End won't be able to hold them. So what's going to happen? West End's going to have to stop. Going to have to give birth to a brand new baby. Hello? So Friday night, if you plan on dying, don't you die until after service Friday night. Come on. Don't you go out of town. I don't care what you got to do. You want to be here. You want to bring your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your next door neighbor, your pastor, your in-laws, your outlaws. Tell them you're coming, because brother ain't going to show them how to get 666 off of their forehead and off of their hand. And I'm going to deal a little bit about buying and selling, wholesale and retail. Now I'm going to tell you something, brothers and sisters. I don't want to get into it right now, but I want to tell you something. The Lord told me, he said, we don't realize that no man will be able to buy. You don't know the depths of that. You really don't know the depths of buying and selling. That means everything in your house, water, lights, gas, telephone, groceries, gas to run your automobile, food to feed your children. Now, wait a minute. I'm going to deal with it. The house that you paying the house note on, if you don't receive the mark, I don't care. You say, but I've had this house 20 years. You can't take it. I'm not behind on my bill. Well, if you're going to pay the next note, you're buying the house. So you got to get out of that house. If you're paying a car note, you're buying that car. So you got to park that car. That's why the Bible says your bread, that's the only thing God has promised us. What he's saying, I won't let you starve to death. Come on. And I won't let you dry up because you need water to live. So the Lord said, oh, help me, Holy Spirit. The Lord is trying to tell us we need to get back to raw food. Because if you have to have some meat every day, if your body is primed to chicken and beef and turkey, come on, and hamburgers and T-bone, come on, brothers and sisters. When that buying and selling thing comes, you're going to go get the mark because your stomach is going to say, I have to have me a burger. I got to have me a piece of turkey. I hate to say that, folks, but that's, see, don't nobody want to deal with those things the way they should be dealt with. That's not my sermon tonight. But, oh, you just wait. I want to thank you, West End, because you don't realize how happy I am. Now, I know I hear about West End even when I'm not here. And I know how many ministers have been here conducting revivals. And this is my first revival here in this church in 21 years. I don't take this lightly. That's past due. Huh? I should have been back. But I ain't complaining about that. I'm now here. I'm here now. And the devil doesn't like it. But the devil can't do nothing about it. And I talked to Pastor Truman Bryant the other day where my membership is, and I said, you might be receiving a letter because I think I'm supposed to move my membership to the greatest church, come on, in the world. And he told me what it was. He said, you must be talking about West End. I said, you got it. I'll tell you one thing. When I move, if the Lord tell me to do it, you won't have to worry about evangelism because I'll run a revival even if I don't have a budget. Come on. Hello. We will always have souls. Whatever a West End give birth to, it's going to be packed to. Huh? And then the next church is going to be packed too. We will have little West End juniors and little West End. Come on. Cliff Low Dollar, all of the folks going to come over and join us. Now, you need to understand, what you got, the world want. And the only reason why our church is not bigger than Cliff Low Dollars and who's this other guy? And Bishop Pope, huh? Because we're so shut in with the truth. We keep it among ourselves. You can put a tent revival on, Adventists fill up all the chairs. Am I right? You can bring a Breath of Life speaker in, or E.E. Cleveland, or anybody, huh? You ask all Adventists to stand up, that's all you got. But I'm going to have a training class to show us how to go out. Come on. Start some singles clubs and take some cruises and help some of these women that's unmarried to get a good husband. And you don't want nobody on welfare. And come on, brother, you can do bad by yourself. Come on, talk to me up in here. We need to get out and take our young people and go down to those white people and tell them we want some money, and they'll give us baseball bats and gloves, and then West End will start playing against all the other churches. And while they're playing, the Bible workers will be up in the stand giving Bible work to their mamas and daddies. Come on. I have Bible workers spotted all through the baseball. Come on, brothers and sisters. The Bible says you have to be wise to win souls. Be wise as a what? And harmless as a what? Oh, brothers and sisters, we're not going to get it done. It's not the pastor's job to fill up the church. Sheep beget sheep. Shepherd watches over sheep. Brother, it's time for us to get out. Huh? I'm going to suggest whoever the pastor's going to be here, if I'm going to move my membership here, I'm going to say the first Sabbath in every month, I want the pastor and his wife to stand at the door. And the first Sabbath of every month, if you don't bring a visitor, give them your tithes and you go back home. You got 30 days to get one person to follow you to church. The Lord said, let your light shine. If you have a light, come on, everybody in God's room, the church has a light. If you can't get one person, so if our membership is 1,400 or 1,800, on the first Sabbath of every month, you should have what? 3,600 people trying to get in here. Don't tell me. If you can accidentally get one person to come with you once a month, and you know when the pastor finished preaching and make his appeal, if you done double the membership, he's going to snatch 40 and 50. And especially if you feed them, they coming back. I'm just y'all won't even say amen to that. And you know that'll work. You know that'll work. You know why Jakes can come here and fill up everything in town? He's got an idea. He has a plan, and it works. You can't outwork Adventists when they make up in their mind they're ready to do something. Can I get a witness in here? Tomorrow night, I had you to read Hosea. Deborah, can you kind of wrap me up in a sheet? Because I want to be Hosea tomorrow night. And put me in one of them, a turban like. So when I walk out, I kind of look like, can you do that? It might take 5 sheets. I want to tell the story of Hosea, but I don't want to preach it. I want to be Hosea. I want to show you why God told Hosea to take Gomer. She was a stone harlot. She was a hoe. I don't want to say it, but everybody, she was a hoe. She was a prostituting hoe. And the Lord wanted Hosea to represent him. For you see, Gomer was God's remnant church. God said, Hosea, I want you to come and get a taste of what I've been going through. You don't want to miss service tomorrow night. I guarantee you when I finish, very seldom there's any dry eyes in the house. Because you can become a whore and never have to sleep with a man. Anything that you put before Yahweh, come on, brothers and sisters, it becomes your God, and God makes it perfectly clear, I am a jealous God. And since I know West End is packed out on the Sabbath, I'm trying to figure out why they're not packed out, why it's not packed out now. Somebody got something more important to do than coming out here to hear what I'm preaching about. Okay, I'm through. If you don't get me ready, I'll just toss something around my head. Read this with me. Go to John. I'm not going to be up here long. John 20. John 21. I can imagine. Leave it alone, Lane. I was going to say, I can imagine when the Lord told Hosea that he wanted him to take a wife. Hosea said to the Lord, isn't that strange? I met this girl last month. That's funny, God, that you would ask me to do that. She's a beautiful lady. Her dress is long, and she would make me a great. Oh, she went on to talk about it. You're going to hear me tomorrow night. And the Lord listened so reverently. And when Hosea finished, she said, Hosea, I'm quite sure she's a good girl, but she's not for you. I want you to go and take a wife of whoredom. Excuse me, West End. Don't you ever think that God won't ask you to do something totally contrary to what you believe in. We better be careful how we call everything the devil. That's why, regardless of what happened today, I still got to be strong. If you can't contend with the footsman, how in the world are you going to be able to run with the horse? It frightens me. I need to know your name again. Brother who? Brother McKenzie. I know that. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I appreciate you right there, man. I look forward to seeing you right there on that third row, you and your darling wife. I can feel the love. You know, I know you love the word. I know that. St. John 21, I'm going to start at 15 verse. St. John 21. 21. You know what I came here to do, Gail? You know what I came here to do, Lynn? To catch some fish. You notice on the back of people's bumpers in their little, the trunk of that car, they have that little fish. It represents what? Say what? No. That little fish represents that they are what? That they are Christian. They represent that they believe in souls. Huh? Jesus, what did I say? Don't read off and leave me. Jesus was a master fisherman. And everybody, notice I said everybody, that name the name of God or say you have been born again, you must catch some fish. I'm going to tell you something. If they allow me, if the conference let me, they may not want me in this city. West End the board might vote, no, Lane, You have your right, you can do that. You don't want to accept me, that's fine. But every person in West End ought to be responsible for 3 souls a year. No, man, come on now. Somebody that you have prayed through. I'm going to tell you something. Can I talk to you just a little while, Doc? I was loved into the Adventist church. I came in 1980 in Los Angeles. And man, I never saw so much love. I hate to say it, Brother McKenzie, but things have changed since 1983. I'm looking for a little lady that used to sing at West End, and she was always dressed in white. What was her name? And she sang a lot. Is she dead? Can somebody find her and tell I'm in town? Wait a minute, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm looking for another young lady. She used to get happy all the time, and I think she had a little girl, and I look for people like that. I remember her. She was always, yeah. Somebody said she's at Maranatha. Where is she? New Jerusalem. I just don't believe she had a hand beer. I just can't believe that I'm in town and she won't come by and say hello. Huh? You would tell her, I still love her, come see me. Those are some of my fish. I mean, man, when you catch a big fish, what do? They hang that bad boy on the wall. George Rainey didn't know when he baptized Oscar Lane in 1980 that Oscar Lane would go out and baptize 48,000 souls. George Rainey brought in a big fish. Huh? And don't think all those stars are going to be on my crown only. God's going to put many of them in George Rainey's crown because George Rainey, you caught a big fish. And man, when you catch a big one, come on. You don't just scale it and throw it away. You clean that bad boy out. Or sometimes you'll take it to somebody, I don't know what you call that, and they'll gut it all out, fill it up, put it on a board, hang it up on the wall, and every time somebody comes to your house, you say, I caught that one. I caught that one. I think every child of God should be able to brag about, I caught those 3 this year. Well, Brother Lane, I didn't catch 3, but I caught 2. Come on. Brother Lane, I worked hard and had to do a lot of extra work at night, and I wasn't able to do as much. But Brother Lane, see that one right there? I caught that one. Everybody, there should be one church member that should be able to say, I am responsible for one soul. There are people not even responsible bringing in anybody in your house. I baptized my son, Oscar III. I baptized my daughter, Princess. I baptized my brother-in-law. I baptized my brother. Come on, brothers and sisters. And you know what? My dad is 94, and I asked God not to let him close his eyes until I baptized him. And 6 months ago, I was sitting at his dining room table, and he said, Oscar Jr., he said, I've closed my shop down on Saturday. I don't work on the Sabbath. And he accidentally said the Sabbath anymore. He said he wanted to say, I don't work on Saturday, but he said, I don't work on the Sabbath anymore. I don't eat any more pork. Come on. And he said, you know what? If man have to obey man's law, we better start obeying God. I almost tore his kitchen up. Come on. I knew what he was trying to say. Come on, brother. If you hang in there. Just hang in there. I'm supposed to read here, but I say when God spoke to Noah to build the ark, Sister Noah tried to talk him out of it. Excuse me. I know she did. When God didn't call no board meeting. You know, we call secret board meetings and discuss stuff. If you want to get to the bottom of something, don't discuss it. Go to the person and ask the question you want to know. Huh? God didn't say nothing, Sister Noah, and you have to understand. Boy, when I read this, I couldn't believe it, preacher. Noah was what? Let's see. Preacher, 120 years. Okay. Wait a minute. It was 500 some odd years before he started building on the ark. And the Bible said he had some of his sons during that time. So we know he wasn't building on the ark all the time. He went in and pleased Sister Noah every now and then. Can I get a witness in here? But can you imagine when God told Noah, I want you to build yourself. Please, please. Now, you know, sometimes I start reading something and the Lord will take me completely. So they that are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I may get back over here, but I don't know. But the Lord is taking me this way. When the Lord told Noah, we're still talking about winning souls. Come on. When the Lord told Noah to build an ark, God said, I want you to pitch it with pitchers. And then he told him how long. Now, wait a minute, brethren. A football field is 300 feet long. Well, the ark was 150 feet longer than a football field. It was 450 feet long. Now, come on, brethren. Come on, you brethren know what I'm talking about. You know how long 300 yards, 100 yards, that's 3 feet in the yard, right? So it's 300 feet long, right? Well, this boat was 450 feet long, huh? 75 feet wide and 45 feet high. And Noah went in and said, with his blueprint, said, honey, yeah, babe, what is it? I talked to God today. Told me it was going to rain. What? You know, you need to sit down, baby, sit down, because you ain't heard nothing yet. Watch the devil. It's his job to talk you out of your blessing. Watch the devil. It is his job, Louise, to discourage you from going on. It's going to rain. It had, wait a minute, Deborah. It had never rained before. There was no scripture. What no preachers or prophets prophesying about rain. The first time anybody ever heard of the word rain is when God told Noah, it's going to rain. You're going to try to convince God, convince folks that God said something and they can't find it in the word. Let me tell you, better get on away from here. It's not in the word. It doesn't deserve to be heard. Wasn't that in the word about no rain? Wasn't that in the scrolls about no rain? That wasn't even a word. Watch me up in here. Watch me up in here. Baby, now you're getting fever, kind of senile. You're hearing things. Now, you know I love you, Lord, but don't come up in here with no rain, talking about nothing nobody else heard. You fool around the church or this fellowship, you start preaching it's going to rain doctrine. I heard him say, baby, that it's going to rain, that he's tired. Man have sinned every sin that can be imagined. Anything that he think of, he try to. Oh, honey, the Lord said he'd get ready to destroy all flesh. He said he's going to even destroy the animal, everything. How is he going to? He's going to do it with the rain. You ain't going to tell nobody this, are you, Noah? Said, would you like to see this, baby? Well, what else? Told me to build a boat. What's a boat? No, I'm trying to show you something, brothers and sisters. Hear me out, young brother. God's going to tell us to do something in the closing of earth history that the conference, the union, GC, your husband, your wife, your pastor would totally disagree with it. But if you know he told you to do it, you got to do it whether they look at you like you crazy or not. 600 years old. Because it rained 120 years. It was, listen, thank you. Listen. She looked at it. 450 feet long? No, you crazy. Boy, you crazy. We ain't got no money to build nothing like that. 75 feet wide, 45 feet high. That thing won't even float. And Noah, where we going to get money to build something like that? I'm going to pray for you, baby. Because you know you don't have my support in this. We're going to become the laughing stock of the world. If you tell them God says it's going to rain, told you to build a boat. But you know what God told Noah that? He said, build, if you go read it, you'll see I'm not apostatizing. He said, build it for yourself. Build it for you and your family. And Noah could have got the attitude, well, since I found grace in your sight, let it rain and just elevate me and my family above the flood. You're God. God said, faith without works is dead. Yes, I got faith in you. Yes, you'll walk before me and you'll live holy. But you got, folks that get up and they'll misquote this scripture and throw people off track. You're never going to be saved by works. Honey, if you don't work, you'll burst hell wide open. If you think you can just come here and warm a pew and not find anything to do, come on, pick up the paper, vacuum the floor, cut the yard, plant some flowers, buy some chrome, beautiful glasses, so when I come, I don't have to drink out of a bottle. Still tastes good, that's okay. Please listen. What I really want you to hear, young brother, is you got to work out your own soul salvation in fear. You working for the salvation of souls. And as you do that, you have to fear and tremble. The Bible, you know, God didn't say nothing about Sister Job. Not Job, Sister Noah. He didn't say nothing about Noah's sons and Noah's daughter-in-laws. He said Noah found grace. Y'all want me to scare you? Want me to scare you? Say you have 1,800 people on your church roll. Don't get scared now. Wonder how many of those will go back to be with the Lord when he comes. 80? 18? 25? If it's 21, so that's 24 left. I ain't trying to be funny. The whole world was in sin, and God searched, he found one man. Ahab told King of Judah, Jehoshaphat, there is, the whole country of Israel, all the preachers, he said, there is yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire. Now, if it was any more, Ahab would have known, because Ahab and Jezebel knew everything. They knew all the preachers in Israel. They had most of them on their payroll. But when Jehoshaphat asked Ahab, is there a man of God here in Israel that we may inquire of the Lord? Ahab looked at Jehoshaphat and said, yeah, there is yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of the Lord. But I hate him. You see what I'm saying? When you write, the devil hates you. If the devil is not lying on you and putting stumbling blocks in your way and trying to cause you to hurt and cause you some pain and some suffering, you better check yourself. Why? Because if you're on the Lord's side, trouble will come in tandem sometime with abandonment. The devil will buffer you And in your buffering, Jesus said, I will let him put no more on you than you're able to bear. And then he tells us, Deborah, oh yes, the devil gonna make you cry. Weeping may endure for just a night, but thank God I ain't gonna let you weep long. Joy cometh in the morning. I tell you, it's morning time. I say it's morning time. Those that love the Lord, it's morning time because joy cometh in the morning. And Sister Noah, when Noah got through talking to his wife, now y'all need to hear this. I want to show you how hard it's going to be to get into the kingdom of heaven. These preachers know, and you Bible workers know, it's so easy. We get up, nobody understands it like Seventh-day Adventists. We understand 1700 during the Dark Ages, when over 50 million saints, not Christians. The Catholic Church took the word saint, gave them the name saint, and called those that was martyred Christians. The word Christian, Christmas, Christ, if you spell Christ, somebody stand up and spell Christ. Now spell Christmas. Spell the same way. So it's not Christmas, it's Christ Mass. Only Catholics have Mass. So when you hang your Christmas trees up, hang your Christmas decorations up, you're giving homage to the Roman Empire. Saint Nicholas. At Christmas Mass, Saint Nicholas. You go to our unions and conference offices, they have Christmas trees in the lobby. Oh, y'all said it? When you wear green on St. Patrick's Day, you're giving homage to the Pope, St. Patrick's. When you buy flowers and candy for St. Valentine, you don't even know who St. Valentine was. He was a Roman Catholic priest. St. Valentine. You see, St. Valentine was the priest in Britain. And he had the largest Catholic church, and that's where the king and the queen attended. And that's when the king and the queen, the state, was over the church. And the king and the queen had so ordered that if any man left the priesthood, that no Catholic priest was supposed to marry him. He's supposed to be out there by himself. But Valentine, friend, left the priesthood and went to Valentine and asked him, listen, man, I want to get married. Will you marry me? Valentine knew it was against the king and the queen's laws, but he married him anyway because Valentine was the baddest priest in Britain. And so the king and the queen had to make a spectacle out of him, so no other priest would do it. So they threw him in jail and set the time, said he would have to die. They had to kill him. They couldn't let him get by with it. So they put him in prison. And while he sat there in those dungeons, the princes, the king and the queen's daughter, the princess, went to take him food and water, and she fell in love with him. And on the 14th of February, he wrote on the wall on the day that he died. And the princess went to her mom and her daddy and said, will you make the 14th of February St. Valentine's Day? That's how St. Valentine's Day came into existence. So when you buy candy on Valentine's Day, when you buy flowers, what you're giving homage to is the Roman Catholic priests. When you put on green, St. Patrick's, we ought to know in whom we're giving our homage to. You ain't hanging nothing on my door for Christmas. You ain't put no red, no green bulbs nowhere in my house. Don't send me no card. You got something to give me, give it to me in cash. Come on, I'm sorry. When you take your children trick-or-treat, you're giving homage to the dead, as though you're saying that the dead have been risen from the grave. And they ain't coming out of there until Gabriel put one foot on the land and the other foot on the sea. And the righteous going to be caught up, and the wicked ain't getting up until the second trumpet. So they have all these scary-looking things, look like dead folks. Trick-or-treat. I'll trick your treat. If you're a saint, you don't take your children trick-or-treat. God, write all that mess down. You don't lie to your children and tell them, go to bed. Night before Christmas, Santa's coming through the chimney, and you don't even have a fireplace. You can't lie. Those children know ain't no Santa Claus coming through no chimney. You tell that child, boy, I bought you this bike and this car, and you bet not tear it up. I bet not see you. Ain't no Santa, and it ain't no Claus. Ain't nobody but your mom and your pa. Our mom and daddy lied to us, and we found ourselves lying to our children. And if you don't stop it, they're going to lie to theirs. Come on, tell them the truth. Jesus wasn't born on the 25th day of December. You go to Israel on the 25th day of December, there's snow on them there hills. Shepherds wouldn't be out there minding the sheep, not in no December. If Jesus wanted us to know when he was born, he'd have put it in the Bible. I know when he died. I can tell you the day he died. But I'm getting back. I'm through. I'm closing this Bible. I've said enough. I've said enough. But I'm going to say this. I got to finish this since I started on Noah just a little bit. When he told his wife, I want y'all to hear this, because there's going to come a time, even husband and wife going to see things different. Y'all got to stick together on this thing. Now watch this, brother. Watch the heaviness that you don't hear some preachers bringing it out. When God told Noah to build an ark, 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, 45 feet high, picture with pictures. Watch now. There were no lumber yards. There were no sawmills. And the trees back there was big enough to drive a car through them. And God told him what type of wood to build it with. So there was no wood stacked up for him to go by. He had to go and get elephants and animals, and he had to cut down the trees and have them to pull the lumber, and then he had to split it. It probably took him 40 or 50 years to get the lumber all cut and stacked. Can you tell me how many times he mashed his toe, stumped his finger, and got splinters in his hand? But he was determined, because he heard God say, you're not building this ark for me, although you have found grace in my sight. If you don't build it, you're going to drown like everybody else. Your Mercedes into heaven? No! You're going to have to cry. You're going to have to wear out your knees. You're going to have to sweat. You're going to have to be lied on, talked about, ridiculed, scandalized. People are going to say everything about you, but you got to keep on keeping on. Don't let nothing stop you. I'm just trying to show you that man went through something. Now, wait a minute, y'all. When he got all the wood stacked, got all the nails to fasten it together, and started building, 65 years into building, 75 years into building, 80 years building. He never even asked God to give me a dark cloud in the east. 90 years, he could have said, can I hear some thunder? I mean, I need to see some lightning, because these people think I'm crazy. At least let them know it's going to rain. Lord said, I ain't letting them know nothing. I told you. Oh, the moral of this story is, if you know you're right, you don't need no witness. Oh! If you know that you know that you know you heard God speak to you, Ollie. Ollie, you know you're supposed to be dead, don't you? But because God said live, you still here. When you know that you know God's not ready for you to leave here. I don't care how many pains run through your chest. Say, devil, you think you're going to kill me, but you can't. Boom, boom, boom. I ain't getting nothing, Bertha. I see you doing that every now and then, but amen, with help. I'm watching you. Come on. When your husband threatened to leave you, and he tell you, you don't have a job, you ain't going to be able to make it. You don't have to beg him to stay. Say, go on, God will be my husband. Because people try to use you. They'll try to get you to backslide. And they'll threaten to leave you like, okay, I'll drink some of the beer. Give me some. Go on, pour me up a glass. One little glass ain't going to hurt me. And you find yourself trying to take sides to hold on to your. The devil gone. I've been married before, but I had a good understanding with the women. I don't hate them, they don't hate me. I don't miss them either. I ain't trying to be funny. When you got peace with God, well, y'all need to understand this now, huh? When you got peace with God, so I get lonely like a big dog. I'm telling you, I do. I get lonely. I be sitting up on the side of my bed. I'm used to holding I'm trying to say a woman. A wife is a woman. You know, if you've never had a woman in your arms, I can talk to us. We're grown. If the children old enough to understand, you need to understand. If you've never been there, everything about me is man. That's all I am, man. And I look at other couples sometimes. I go around my brother, we just had a family reunion. They're all married, they got their wives. I'm the only one around that don't have no wife. And I said, And they always be trying to find you somebody. I said, I'm not as lonely as you think, because I have a peace that they don't have. I have 5 brothers, and their wives wear the pants. Because every time I try to give them a Bible study, the wives butt in and say, Oscar, you need the Bible, so let no man judge you on meats and holy. And my little brothers just shut up because they know, they know they have to render benevolence. And when they want some benevolence, if you know what benevolence I'm talking about. These preachers will tell you. Adam, the Bible says Adam wasn't deceived. Adam knew exactly what he was doing. And he knew Eve was going to die. And he said, I ain't going to be left here with these bulls and cows and elephants and snakes. I'm going to die with you, baby. He loved that woman, so he went on and ate because he said, we're going to die together, baby. See, when God made a woman, he made something special, brethren. See, God made the man, but he built the woman. You can call your wife fat if you want to. She can walk out of here and start walking. Before she make a block, 3 and 4 guys trying to pick her up. You walk all the way downtown. They run over you, you don't get out the road. Come on, brother, y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all don't want to say nothing to him, brother. I see y'all looking all down at the floor. That's why the Bible says when you find a good wife, you'll find yourself something. For the Bible said a bad woman is rotten into a man's bone. You fall in love with a woman and love her and she go bad, you can't beat a woman being dirty anyway. Solomon said there were 2 things